This week on Not Just Another Sex Podcast.
I'm still not sharing all the parts of me because I don't allow myself to go out the house or try to find love or find anything because deep down, I still feel like I'm not deserving of it. I still feel like I messed up. I put my child in this situation where, and even though he has a great dad and he does everything that he's supposed to, I still feel like I can't be trusted with loving somebody else because I always forget myself. And I'm not trying to forget myself. I'm not trying to. I'm doing all the things. And all things, friend.
Hey, sugar. I feel like there are so many different things that I need to learn as an adult. I'm this nasty on a regular day, like on a Tuesday. I am your host, Samaya Burton. And don't worry, it's not just another sex podcast.
Welcome back to Not Just Another Sex Podcast. My name is Samaya, and I'm your host for today. And we have an extraordinary episode, if I do say so myself, today, But we have a returning guest, the superstar, the Tiffany La'ryn. Say hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Yeah, we hope we don't look how we feel because we tired. We tired. We doing a lot to bring y'all some really magical stuff today.
We are.
Okay. And if you guys do not remember, I don't even know what episode it was. I probably should have looked that up before we started. But Tiffany has been on the show before, and she's coming back today for us to get into like some personal stuff. So before we do that, we are going to start off the show with a review. Latasha Luxuries 5661, I heard that, says, Samaya, I'm in love with the yoni oil. Oh, yes, for you. I keeps it on deck. Love Tiffany. My first introduction to her was on Cocktails as well. Her story and her drive to succeed is very inspiring. Ooh, bitch, they talking about you.
That's so cute.
P.S. I have the toys, but prefer to be played with. I'm usually a creamer, but have squirted her time or two.
Okay.
I feel like she caught up on a whole bunch of episodes, and then she was like, hey, and I need to tell you this, and I need to tell you this. I'm here for all of it. Please, you guys. Please continue leaving your reviews, rating the podcast. As you can see, we really read them. And when we were going through, we found this one that had your name in it. We was like, okay, that's a perfect review to read for today. So thank you so much. Okay. If I look cockeyed, y'all, on the YouTube, it's because I was looking at the wrong camera. Like I said, we don't look how we feel. We tired today.
We tired, but we look cute, though.
We look hella cute. So please make sure that you are checking out the visuals on YouTube. And then if you're not on YouTube, then I don't look cockeyed to you. So great. All right. So Tiffany, you already know how this go. You're used to being here by now. So we're going to get into the adult tip of the day.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
Today's adult tip of the day is someone said there's a difference between being happy and being distracted from sadness. And and I wholeheartedly agree. Which one do you think that you are? Do you think you're happy, or do you think that you're distracted by sadness?
I think I could be both.
Why did I feel like you was going to say both?
Because you know me, I ride the line everywhere, baby. I'm happy and I'm half out. Yeah, I think I could be both. It's crazy because my man and I was talking about this last night.
For real?
Yeah. He was like, do you really take the time to figure out if you're happy, or are you just going through the motions because you're so busy?
I love the fact that he be just charging your ass up.
I don't know if it's charging maybe or reading the hell out of me. I'm like, sir, back up. I didn't ask you for all that today, okay? But yeah, I think I'm both. I think that I'm happy, but then I can also see where parts of me can detach, and I can kind of go through the motion of those moments, and not really know how I feel truly. Because I don't really sit down. I don't have enough time in my head to sit down and process sometimes those emotions. You know what was crazy? Like, speaking of processing emotions.
Come on, get into it.
This how bad I am, y'all. So my favorite aunt passed away from a brain cancer. She had brain cancer.
That's morbid.
It's very. So
I'm sorry.
I didn't go to her funeral because it was just too much for me. And she was like the aunt that I was like really close to out of like all my aunts. I don't really know any other ones like that. And I didn't go to the funeral. I cried when they said she was terminal. And I went down and visited her, and that was like the last time I seen her, and that's kind of how I wanted to leave it. And then I didn't go to the funeral, which I felt bad about, but I couldn't take myself to go do it because I don't want to see her like that. And it was like a year and a half went by, and then I just broke down.
Oh,
and
it's gonna come
really
out.
Processed like the fact that she was dead. That's crazy to me. That is a psychopath.
I feel much better that you're sitting on the couch with me as a psychopath. But no, I do feel that. I had my great grandmother just passed, but she was dying for so long.
Yeah.
Like it was like I don't know if you've seen Grey's Anatomy, but there was an episode where this old lady, like, they kept flying to come see her because they said
she was dying.
And they was like, so she leaving today? You think she gonna die before tomorrow? Because I have a meeting, and like at some point, like, want to pay my respects to my great grandmother, but it was also a beautiful side to it that I could have a better relationship with her leaving, because she was dying for like 3 years. And also for me, it was, I don't want her to live like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She wasn't even herself. She wasn't the things that made her happy and moving around and stuff. She wasn't doing that. So by the time it was time for her to go, and I know that we laughed to keep from crying. Yeah. But it was just very ironic because she just wasn't, she wouldn't leave. Every time, so many crazy things was happening. And it was like, oh, she recovered. I was like,
not today.
So when she finally did, pass, I didn't cry at all. I haven't cried yet. Not since this. Like in the whole thing and all of that for sure. But if anything, I think it was just more of a, I don't want her living like that. I don't even want to think about that. And then what do you think happens at 88?
Not too much.
You know what I'm saying? So
I
it's
hope
like,
my life is full at 88 though, but I don't know.
It's full. Everybody she knew has loved and passed on. She don't want to live a life like that. Yeah. And she wasn't herself. But I do think that there is a difference between being happy and being distracted. And today we're here to talk about like your relationship and your new show that has come out. And I know that for me, when I got out of like a past relationship, or at least my marriage, I got into another relationship that I felt was happy. And also it was distracting the fuck out of me to really deal with all the things. You know what I mean? Not on purpose, but it was. So I think that we have to watch it, because everything that we do in life can end up distracting us, whether it's something good or something bad. Because you could be distracted. You could be distracted doing coke, but you ain't. You're distracted.
Drinking my Celsius.
Drinking your Celsius, working with children, doing the Lord's work. So, but you can be distracted with good things as well.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, it's your host, Samaya. If you're enjoying the topics over here, honestly, I think you'd love the topics over on my learning platform. I have some private interviews over there with some amazing guests. I've interviewed Mr. Marcus, yes, that's the porn star, Passion Jones, who brought on her husband and her boyfriend, and even had some girls' night conversations with Medina from Cocktails, as well as Mila from Good Moms Bad Choices. That conversation was amazing. We did some examples of our dirty talk, and let's just say you need to check it out. Don't just take my word for it. Make sure that you click the link below and sign up today. There are over 250 workshops, classes, interviews, and so much more. All right, now back to the show.
All right, so for the Twitter talk, speaking of marriages, the Twitter talk, as you guys know, is for us to pay homage to Black Twitter itself and talk about a couple controversial things or whatnot. And today it says, we often say my failed marriage or my failed relationship. Relationships don't fail, they end. Someone taught us that endings were failures. Mark Groves.
I love how you put the name at the end like that.
It was on there. Some shit I read it. I ain't trying to take nobody credit. If I don't know who wrote it, I ain't gonna search and find it.
It was so professional.
Mark Groves. I need to do audiobooks. I need to put my voice on there.
I love myself.
I feel like I tell people that all the time with my marriage. I felt like it was not a failed relationship. I feel like we married the wrong person, but he wasn't the wrong person also. Like, he's an amazing dad. I could not have picked a better dad for my child.
That's so cute.
Oh, how nice.
How lovely.
How do you feel? Do you feel that all was your relationship failed, or did it end?
Oh, no, baby. Mine failed. It plummeted. It fell also through a hole, a dark, deep tunnel. Yeah.
Why did you get a divorce?
Why did I get a divorce?
I don't think you shared it on the last episode.
No, I didn't.
Oh, look at that. Look at my Celsius to hydrate me while you tell the story.
My marriage ended because I found out that my husband was, I guess, bisexual.
Okay. That's not technically a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Why was it a bad thing, Tiffany? I love how you're avoiding the question. It's so cute because now I know your story, and I can just keep poking the bear on camera for other people to see.
Okay, so I found out that my husband was also messing around with men and women, because it was women still that I found out about. And it's not a bad thing. I don't condemn anybody's choice on who they want to have sex with. I think sexual activities are very fluid and it's what you like. However, I do think that you should give people the option, like to consent. Yes, especially if, you know, as a man, I mean, you know, society does not really accept men being bisexual or liking what they like. But if that's what you're going to do, please say, hey, I like this too. And don't lie about it. I think that the issue that I had was that he wasn't living fully in his truth, and I don't think he still is. And that's unfortunate because I feel like he would be much happier if he did. And you also didn't give me the option to choose if that's something that I wanted to be a part of. And it was a lot of deceit, and there was a lot of lies, and there was a lot of covering. And then there's layers of trauma that he had that I didn't even know after having been married to him for so long. And having children, like I think he should have disclosed things to me at the beginning, because it would have gave me a different perspective of the marriage, of the relationship, and if I wanted to do that. But ultimately, I felt like I was just in danger because there was like people he would have come to the house, and he would tell people that I was his sister and he had his nephews there. And you know, like, I mean, baby, because they still gonna give it to you with kids. I ain't never seen kids stop anybody from getting anything. But that just didn't make me feel safe. And the fact that there were so many lies, and it was just funneling. It was almost like, well, it wasn't almost like, he had a whole nother life that just I had no idea about, and how the depth of it was. And I just felt like I can't put myself and my kids in position to be in harm's way, because there's people out there who's crazy. Like, there's people out there that you gonna sit up here and tell, like, oh, this my nephews, this my sister, you know, and come to your house where y'all lay y'all head at and all this other stuff. And then you turn around, and what if they like, I can't believe you did this, because what if it was a man and he'd be like, I didn't know you like women. And now he's like,
upset or something like that.
Or vice versa, a woman who's like, I didn't know that you slept with my homeboy, and then now all of a sudden I'm getting murdered and my kids for somebody. No, really, because people do that every day. So that's kind of like where the situation went left. Not kind of, but that's definitely where the situation went. It failed, baby, because I don't see it. It wasn't a happy ending. We didn't leave on good terms, technically.
I feel like, and we're going to get into it, but clearly I'm privy to information, so I know how we're going to weave this in there. Because I'm like, it's so many points. But I do believe that they say that, I think the two things can be true. One, someone did teach us that endings are failures, and that is not true. And there have been so many beautiful things that have blossomed out of an end. And that's the only way that you can get a new beginning is for something to end or for us to let go. So I think that we have these issues of like letting go of things more than anything. But also some relationships do fail. They failed. Like, you failed at communication. You failed at trying to fix it. You failed at being honest. Like, you failed at every part of that relationship. But also what I've noticed about fair relationships, that it still takes two. We contributed to that. So I want to get into that today, because your entire show is about you like telling the entire truth. Like, you have this viral YouTube celeb, like, anytime some kids walk through this house and they see Miss Tiffany, oh my God,
the kids love me.
Tiffany La'ryn. Like, and I'm like, I wonder if this was like be a Nickelodeon star. Like, kids know her. And they do crazy numbers, and 30 million views a month on YouTube and all those things. But we didn't know one thing about you.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's how you got to this show today. So I definitely want to kind of go into the stuff that's not for the children today.
Okay.
So what parts do you think, and we'll both share, I ain't gonna leave you out here by yourself.
Dragging me.
I'm never, not at all. Because to be honest, I feel like I know your situation was much harder than mine, but
Yeah.
I don't blame you for that. That's somebody hiding their truth from you. For me and my situation, and I tell people all the time, my marriage and my co-parenting relationship have nothing to do with each other. Like who he is as a dad, no problem. But I played a role in picking the wrong person to marry because of my own shit. You know what I'm saying? What I didn't see, what I didn't know, versus someone like lying to you. Like that's different. No, I went into that motherfucker wide eyes open and still chose that situation. But I do want to know, what parts do you think you played in it even getting that far? Like, do you think sometimes it's like the age when you end up starting to date somebody? It could be, I was super religious and this was, but at some point something felt wrong because you confronted it, you found out, but you usually feel that way before that even happens. So, we ain't gonna tell nobody. It's a safe place. We want to know, what are the things that you did?
Looking back now at my big age, I definitely think that there was trauma that I had at that point in time. Well, I would say about 6 years prior to meeting him, my dad had went to prison. He was looking at 25 to life. And he was doing a big one. And that was disheartening because it was federal time, so there was no cutting it in half. And I think that from that moment, when I was like roughly 13 when that happened, it was a void that I didn't know I was trying to fill. So I think I was attaching to people and things that just weren't good. But when I met him, he felt safe because he was different than what I knew. Like my dad was like a big time drug dealer. All the men I had kind of messed with prior to that was like in the streets. And when I met him, he had a family, a 2-parent household. They was like in the church. It was this illusion of like, oh, this feels really safe and normal. Because, baby, my life was not normal at all. My childhood was not normal. So I think that's what kind of pulled me in. And then when I got there, there was things that was happening. But I feel like one thing that I realized I did for a very long time, even since the beginning, was I made a lot of excuses for his behavior. Like, when we first were dating and there was things that he may have done, like maybe cheated or etc., it would be like, oh, well, we're young and we're in college and he's on the football team. Like, it's almost like, like,
But something's gonna be bad anyway.
yeah, so it's kind of like boom. And then it's like, as we get out of college, it's like, oh, well, we're just newly engaged. He's transitioning.
Oh, was he?
Or was he? It was like, oh, something happened. Oh, we got into an argument. So it's like, it must be my fault. So it's like I was constantly coddling him. So when the stuff hit the fan, it wasn't like, I was surprised, but I wasn't, because when I kind of stepped away from the situation and I looked back, it was like, Tiffany, you always coddle him to be okay with the stuff. And I realized as I got older, men gonna do what you allow. Like, baby, if you let him smack you a little bit one time and then he be like, oh, okay, cool, she ate that, and then you let him do it again. And it's just gonna escalate because they kind of be testing the water to see like what you gonna put up with and what you not gonna put up with. And then when they realize, okay, I can do that, then they go the next step. And it's like, oh, I could do that too. And now it's like a whole thing of like, oh, I can just do whatever I want to do. So I felt like my thing is I mostly coddle him. And there was a lot of things that I turned my head to that I look back now, I was like, baby, them was not red flags. Them was bloody red scarlet flags just waving in your face. Like,
No, caution.
but kind of like the therapist said on one of my episodes, like, you don't know red flags unless you know red flags. And sometimes because of our upbringing, you don't know red flags. Yes. So I think that it was more so the coddling and just making the excuses was probably the biggest thing that I felt like I did, because there was so many times that my conscience was like, girl, you got to go. And then my real self was like, no, because it makes sense if you think about it. And it was a lot of like mental battles like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like for me, and I say this all the time, and I don't know if people are getting it yet, I would say that my husband did not like me. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean like he wasn't disrespectful or anything. Like he wasn't rude to me. He never put his hands on me. Like if you looked at us, we looked like a regular relationship. And a part of me always blamed myself, no matter what it was, because some of the things that he would say about me would be true. And I've always been really good with accountability. So it's like,
you're right, I do that. Let me go work on it. So I would just take it, go work on it, and then come back. And I'm expecting a certain type of love after I fix the problem. And what I've learned through a lot of my friendships now is that most of my friends that I have now, or my long-term friends, they were there before when I was all broken and didn't even know I was broken, and they're here now. And being broken didn't make me a bad person, but they weren't annoyed by me being that person. And so for the longest, I always thought that I was the problem. So I wasn't necessarily making excuses for him. It was always like, I get it, because you're right, I do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I get how that could be a problem, like, or whatever. But the truth is that I realized that you don't have to be perfect or in a certain healed spot to be loved. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that I need to fix to be deserving of love today. I'm deserving of it now just because. And for me, I feel like I was looking for some type of fairy tale. And I realized with fairy tales and miracles, they're still all a reflection of the work that has been put in. They're not really miracles.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's either what was meant to be, or it's a reflection of the work that you've put in, or whatever. And I just was like, I'm just too fairy tale. I think I just want him to roses and flowers. And, like, I need to be more realistic. And so it always was a question, is he doing something wrong? And what I like about, like, the Twitter talk is that it's like, relationships don't fail. It puts the energy on it being right and wrong. Somebody can be a great person and not be the right person for you. And that is reason enough. But in this world, it's like, if you get a divorce, they want proof, and don't get me wrong, like divorces have gone crazy because we don't know, or whatever. But also, after we find out that the person that we married is not for us, how the fuck do you let that shit go? Like, it has to end. So I think that was a big part for me, just not really recognizing that somebody just doesn't care for me, like, through my flaws. Because at the end of the day, I'm not perfect, and I'm never going to be perfect. So if this bothers you, in 7 years, I could have a different issue. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing shit that's like, oh, she's a thief. Like, she's a robber. Like, okay. Like, no, everybody has their quirks. I also wanted to know, did you think that getting into a better relationship now, like you've mentioned in their episodes about your partner being more supportive and just, being himself, and like y'all love has created a new child. Seeing that it's a better relationship, did you think that everything that was broken would be fixed because you were in a better relationship?
In a way, yes. Not in like a delusional way, like this man's gonna fix me. But I did think, okay, like I had some space. Wasn't a lot of space, but I did have some space between my divorce and getting into this relationship. But in that space, I was more so having fun. I wasn't necessarily like working on me.
You know
what I'm saying? I was having a hot girl, summer, winter, fall. But, and in that process, I was like, okay, I felt like I was refining myself. I felt like I was expressing myself. I felt like I was setting up like, no, this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm not doing. And I think to an extent, that worked in my favor. But then I also got into the relationship. And as time went on, I realized, oh, shit, I got some stuff I'm bringing in with me. Call me bag lady.
Bag lady.
Because it's coming. And it would be things that just triggered me that I couldn't like necessarily understand why I would get so upset. But then I would be like, oh, this reminds me. But it wouldn't even be to the extent of my ex. It would just be something like that could be normal. But because that relationship was so crazy, even the normal like constructive criticism that means really well for me could make me feel like you're trying to control me, because my other relationship was like so controlling. Like, I want you to look like this. I want you to dress like this. You need to present yourself like this. It's almost like you were trying to make me. So now if my man wants to give me some constructive criticism that really can help me, I immediately will feel like you're trying to violate me, in the sense of like, oh, here you go trying to tell me what to do and control me. And it's like I had to kind of back up and realize like, okay, listen to this, Tiffany, gracefully, because if not, I can't receive it. But that's just some of the things that you don't realize that you bring with you into these new relationships.
This is facts. I feel that spiritually.
You know what I found was that the first relationship that I got into after my marriage, the exact same thing happened in my marriage, except in a good way.
Yeah.
It was over love, and like I feel like he gave me so much attention.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And to be honest, like even though that relationship didn't work out, I'm very aware of why I still needed it for what I needed it for. It helped rebuild my confidence after being in that marriage. Not saying like I used him to build my confidence. I just realized why I was equally yoked with that person at the time. But also as I started healing more, we just weren't, I realized that it was really the same thing. I wasn't being myself. We were working out when I was willing to like swim in the love and the emotions and things like that. And that's really the same thing I did in my marriage. I was swimming in being a wife and, you know, like being a mother and like this new identity, but the identity didn't include any individuality of me. Like, and nobody was forcing me to not be myself. Like it wasn't like, oh, don't go do nothing for yourself. No, I was doing that shit all on my own. So it was like I was creating the standard of what it was. And then like in the new relationship, when I did start, oh, I want to go do this, go do that, that's when more hiccups were coming up. And I realized at the end of the day, because I'm not really allowing myself to shine like and be my damn self, that's what these relationships are getting used to, you know? And then for me, being in a better relationship, a happier one where somebody really loved my dirty ass draws, it's like, I don't want to leave that. I don't know if I'll ever find that again.
Yes.
So even recognizing that the overlove was also toxic, just like the underlove wasn't good for me either. So it's just like, what I do next?
What's next?
What's next? And so I've been single ever since. That made me sound crazy. I've been single ever since. But what I really realized is that your individuality has to show through no matter what you do, as a mother, as a businesswoman, as all these different things. So what does, how you end up making a show? Why did you end up making the show? Like, I know that it's take two for Tiffany, but I guess I'm wondering, what are the things that you still are currently fucking up in that contribute to why your relationship is the way that it is? Like, what's the one thing that you're still not doing?
I'm still not displaying my emotions.
Psychopath. She cry on the show, y'all. She do got emotions.
I do have some emotions. They're somewhere deep inside me, but you know, I had to tell my man, like, I think, and it's crazy because he was like, it's you. And at first I used to be like, it's not me, but he's like, you. Literally, I had a homegirl come to me the other day and kind of bark at me in front of him about our relationship and how she felt. And he had to tell her, it's not you, it's her, because I feel the same way with her. She just has a detachment from people, but she means very well. And when she kind of got it from his perspective, and she was like, oh, shoot. And then I was like, damn, it's me. Y'all ganging up on me. And then somebody else felt the same way that was out the circle. And I was like, oh, it is me. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm a little messed up. So I'm trying to be more vulnerable in that area. Because I just feel like, you know, people have left me and that I get attached to. Or even with my marriage, I think I gave my all. That was like, when you... everything, to the point that now I'm like, I don't know if I want to give anything because now it's like, I don't know. So I think that, you know, I'm just at a space now. The show is here for me to work on myself. Like, the show is here for me to refine Tiffany, refine what do I like, refine what makes me happy outside of my kids and my man and my YouTube and everything, because when I really think about it, like, I got married so young and I was like faithful, and it's crazy because I was, it was crazy that I was faithful. I should have lied, cheated. That song, that should be on repeat. But yeah, it was like, okay, so from, you know, 19 to 29, it's like, that's what I'm saying. You took... Baby, you took my pride. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I gave it and I gave my all, but then it's like at that time, because I was so young, it's like I didn't find me. I didn't find what I like sexually. I didn't find so many things that I think women should be searching for at that time that I didn't even know myself. So then I give you these years that are molding years, technically, of like who you are as a person. And then you try to mold me. and I try to live up to these standards for you, and then I had these kids, and now I'm a mom. And you know, with every child you have to refine yourself. With every child, and y'all, I got a lot of kids. That's a lot of journeys. So it's like with every child, you have to refine yourself. So now I'm going through all this, and then I wake up and one day I'm out this marriage, and I don't know who I am.
Do you ever feel like, well, not even do you ever feel like, because you're right, like you gave some stuff and then he took some of the other shit, right? which is facts. I feel like finding the balance between what you give yourself and what you give others is ultimately like the journey that you're on.
Yes.
Because before you didn't give yourself anything. And then now you're in a relationship that's good and someone can recognize it, but at the same time they have their own boundaries, like how long they gonna hang around if I'm not giving the best. Yeah, if you don't know the difference. And so I feel like you're on a journey, which is just, it really reminds me of myself, of finding your own boundaries with what you give to others and what you give yourself. But the truth is, you don't give yourself nothing.
Don't give myself anything.
Shit.
Pennies.
Nothing.
On the dollar.
And so I think the segments of your show really do, like, the show is doing that. Like, you have the, what the hell you have? Try with Tiff. Try with Tiff, because I don't think anybody can get to know themselves without, or even anytime you're going on a new journey, you got to try everything. Like, you can't just like do one thing and then really form an opinion about it. So I really love that, because that can go from 0 to 100 real quick. Anything. And then your reality of Reddit, which plays into you telling crazy parts of your story. I think that that's healing, because you're telling people the truth, not letting, it reminds me of the little Jada Pink. I don't want to compare you to Jada.
Don't put me with Jada
Pinkett. Because you know what? Because I do feel that so many people have spoken for her without her ever confirming or denying, just letting the rumors go on and go on and go on, like, about so much shit. By the time she put out her story, everybody's like, oh, take us out the group chat. We don't want to know. Yeah, I didn't mind when everybody else was telling the story. She never commented on so many of these things. And so now that she's telling the story, like, I'm here for that. No matter how messy it is, I already bought 2 copies. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know when the fuck I'm gonna have time to sit down and read it.
But I bought it.
I bought because I think that women should tell the story. Like, not for somebody else, but for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not to... For me, telling the story of like my parents on this show and just my truth, it wasn't to fuck with them. It was giving myself the outlet that I deserve to like really deal with all this shit and understanding that I want to tell other people because I know other people going through this. And I feel like with your show, you literally are doing this take 2 on life altogether, and so many people need to do a take 2. Like, whether you get in divorce, whether you're a man or woman, whether you have a new career, whether you have another child, whether it's your 3rd child, like, no matter what, how many times, even when you're happy, you got to do a take 2. Like, damn, I need to
reevaluate some things.
Yeah, let me just like recalibrate, because I think that we do get so lost in every other relationship we have outside of ourselves. And so I just love the fact that your show is really doing that. It's going through all the steps. I mean, I love your show for a multitude of reasons, but you know.
Thank you.
But also I wanted to touch on, what do you think, what are the other things that you end up suppressing that were good things? This is a crazy ass question. You know how my mind works. Okay. What do you think are some of the other things that you were suppressing by trying not to let the bad in? That means you also didn't let good things in either. So like, what are some things that maybe you think, I feel like I have to give my example first because it sounds kind of crazy when I'm trying to say it.
I know where you're going, but give me your example.
Yeah, it sucks. Sometimes my brain be working. I be telling stuff like, oh, we should say it like this. And she be like, okay.
Explain it afterwards.
Because like, I know what I want to ask and it's just not coming out my brain right. For example, by letting go of other things for me this summer, I met you.
Okay.
And when I suppressed myself and I suppressed my individuality, I wasn't just suppressing like bad relationships or like keeping myself safe. I was also suppressing my full potential. And for me, I've been talent for years. But when I allowed myself to experience all the parts of myself, I uncovered where my life is supposed to go next. And in doing so, I met you. And then now I'm producing your show.
Okay.
And so I think that just giving myself time in this past year and a half to be single, like to really be single, I've uncovered so much more. And that I realized it was never anybody else that was doing shit to me. Like,
it was just me abusing
I was
myself.
the problem over and over and over again.
It'd be like that sometimes. Just don't beat yourself down.
You know, but it's so beautiful because it's like, it just feels so divine. It feels like everything that I went through, everything that I discovered, like now, I don't think that there's anybody made more perfect to really understand what it's like to go through to tell your truth and to also discover who the fuck you are. And yours is doing it within a relationship. Like, it's duality. Like, I had to figure out mine on my own, baby. I just ain't nobody else do that. But do you think that there are any other parts of you that that you're starting to uncover now that you're taking the time to get to know you through the show?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think that I'm getting a sense of freedom. It's weird.
So still a hot girl.
Still a hot girl, but for a very long time, and you know we had this conversation, I have been scared to tell my side of the story. I feel like even after going through all the stuff I went through with him, I still had a sense of protection, which is weird because, you know, I mean, I hate to use the word abuser, but there was a lot of mental, verbal abuse in that situation. And I felt like even coming out of it, I would still, for a long time, be like, just say something about him, try to find something nice to say, even when he was dragging me, dragging the kids, not showing up as a father, just all the bad. And I still was trying to find a way to like protect him and make him seem like, oh no, he's cool. Like, it's cool, or just not speak of it. And I think that now it is feeling freeing to be like, damn, I got to tell this embarrassing story. But my embarrassing story is part of my journey that got me here. And it feels more freeing to be like, yeah, like that happened, and kind of joke about it or cry about it and really feel the feels. Because it's times that, like, even on the episode we shot, like, I'll talk about it in detail and I'll cry like it's happening now. But that's because I never really processed to full extent of what happened, or because I suppress it so much and make it seem like it's not occurring, that in my mind somewhere it's really not happening. And no, girl, it's happening. So it's like now I have this sense of freedom, and I can feel more peace coming about with some of the things that you had me doing and trying on the show. Somebody got me on a chokehold. But I love it here. And no, it's making me feel like, dang, I like this. Like, I like this process. I like being able to say something. I like being able to get my tears out. And I'm still scared of what's going to happen when it releases, just because it's so intense for me. Like, I'm worried about the trickling down effect. But it's like, at the same time, I didn't choose this life. You put me in it, and I didn't ask to be here. So it's like the trauma that came to me from it, like, I have to be able to say, yeah, this is how I felt. This is what I felt like. These are my emotions. This was my perspective and experience. And they just have to be able to accept that, because, baby, I didn't ask to be thrown in the fire with you. I just was put in the pit.
I feel like even watching your story, like, from here, to me, it's very ironic. The first client that I get, like, on my own happens to be you, because I ain't gonna lie to you, you fucked up. Like, I love you, but I and not even like fucked up as in like you're a terrible person. But you remember the very first time that I saw you, I was like, so after you masturbate, like, and he was like, huh? Like, I don't make no time for that. And I said, no matter what this bitch say, she needs me. No matter what she says, she needs me.
I don't care what she talking about.
I don't care what she say. And I feel like me having an example of a woman that's in the midst of her healing and still having all the beautiful things that you have, it is triggering to me. You trigger me.
Do I?
Oh, you do.
In a good or bad way?
In a great way. Like, I really feel like I'm about to cry.
Don't cry, somebody.
I don't want to cry because we look so good.
We do.
And Tura will be upset that we both messed up our faces simultaneously. But it's very triggering because I realized,
don't, you'll make me cry.
Get out.
Not out. This was something else I got today.
It makes me realize that I'm still not sharing all the parts of me because I don't allow myself to go out the house or try to find love or find anything, because deep down I still feel like I'm not deserving of it. I still feel like I messed up. I put my child in this situation where, and even though he has a great dad and he does everything that he's supposed to, I still feel like I can't be trusted with loving somebody else because I always forget myself. And I'm not trying to forget myself. I'm not trying to. I'm doing all the things. And all things, friend.
This is ridiculous.
The ghetto. I do. I feel like I'm doing all the things, but I haven't even allowed myself to go outside or try to find a way to enjoy these things. And I'm still covering up for people.
Yeah.
It's so much of my story that just even in meeting you, and he's like, you remember the very first month that we talked, I was like, well, I don't even have the cameraman to shoot your show anymore. You got to give me a second. And you were like, okay, call me when you get some cameras.
Call me when you're ready.
Call me when you're ready. And it's like I haven't told parts of the story because I don't want to be perceived as messy. I'm moving into this entertainment field and I don't want to be seen as that or like telling like business. But the truth is that because I haven't allowed myself to just say, well, this didn't work out because of this, and I can still deserve to be here, and allow myself the duality.
Yeah.
I'm still not allowing myself to do it. And it's like now I just feel like I was attracted to you because the same things I'm telling that you need, I might be at a different version of it. I really need my goddamn self. I really need to try it with Tiff as well.
Just come with me.
I do. I feel that way. And it's very triggering because it's just like, what's your excuse? She know that she ain't got it all together and she's doing it anyway. Like there are so many ways that you're just very fearless. You know what I mean? And I know the fear tells us something. I know that pain tells us something. It tells us where to look, where it hurts, like, and things like that. But for me, I have just dug into my work, and it might be for a good cause. But at the end of the day, every time I sit down with you, I'm like, fuck, I haven't done none of this shit in a couple weeks. Like and so it just shows that you can lose yourself in something bad and you can lose yourself in something good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
No, you deserve it, somebody. I can resonate because I felt like you, and I still feel like you. Like I have regrets. Like, dang, I made the bad decision. I put my kids into this. It's very much the ownership of I should have knew better. I this. But somebody had to tell me one time, you can't regret what you didn't know. And it's like, as much as that sounds easy to hear, it's like, baby, but I'm holding on to the bag of regrets. So it's kind of like that. And it took a lot. It took my brother on multiple occasions. Like, my brother was my cheerleader. Like, that man was in the corner with the pomp. And I would just cry, like, who's going to love me? Who's going to want me at this age with 3 kids? Like, let's be real here. I don't even have nothing going on. I'm poor. At that point, I was like, I'm poor. And I got kids. Nobody's going to want me. And he was like, Tiffany, you crazy. Like, you have to understand, like, you deserve love. You deserve somebody to treat you right. You're a good person. You can't keep holding on to what happened to you. There's people out here with less than you, more kids than you, and they're getting what they deserve. Like, you just have to keep telling yourself that. And every time I would have a breakdown, that would be the conversation he would have, to the point that I would just have to keep telling myself every day, like, you deserve this. And it was a couple times that I came across people, I'm like, I don't deserve to be loved by you. Like, don't self-sabotage yourself, because it's kind of like you can get in them spaces like, damn, this seemed really good. And it's like, I don't deserve this. But you do deserve that, though, because I be really feeling like God don't put people around you that he feel like you don't deserve or are not obtainable. It's like God puts you around people and you have that 6 degrees of separation or whatever it's called, where it's like you're always one person away from the person that you want to be near. And I really feel like that's energy, and God puts you with the people you're supposed to be with. So don't ever feel like you don't deserve nothing. And don't ever feel like you so broken you can't get something. It's like, no, baby, these men gonna come in and they gonna do you right. And they gonna take that baggage to come with you. And I really appreciate my man, because it's like, when we got together, this other man of mine, this ex, was trying to run this man off. And like, to the point that I was like, oh, ain't nobody finna mess with me, because it's too much to deal with him. It's just like, it was like a bitter baby mom. I was like, bro, this man just won't stop. And it was, and it made, baby, the ex-wife was tripping. And it made it to the point where, one time he said to me, I don't know if I can do this, because I can't get myself in a position where I go to prison behind this man. And I couldn't be mad at that because it's like, who am I to ask you to put your livelihood on the line because I got a little crazy running behind me. But, we held down, locked in, and we here now. But I say all that to say, don't think that you have too much with you that somebody's not willing to work with you or build with you or love you for who you are and all the parts of you, because you're going to always be evolving.
That you proved that, though. I think that that's what you proved. Like the way that I think of you and how highly I think of you and just the level of things that you've gotten to. And don't get me wrong, I do consider myself successful. I'm very proud of myself. Like little me is like, that bitch is kind of cool. Okay. But when it came down to it, at the end of the day, you already own your own production company. You already like shit that you shooting with is on my wish list. Amazon is looking at me like, are you coming back to check out? No.
Did you forget about your car?
No. Did you? And it's just like, I was very transparent with you, like from jump. Like, this is what I know how to do. I ain't never did this before, but I would love to do this for you. And da-da-da-da-da. And you was, what I'm saying, with it and still saw it. And so it's just like, a lot of people will tell you, like, girl, somebody will do that, but they won't take that chance with you. And so somebody else taking that chance is just, it's a lot of proof to me. And I know that when you came to me, it was just like, I really want to work with some woman brands. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think about like Girls Trip when she got up there and like gave that talk. Yeah. And I think of you. And I think that allowing myself to see myself better and be all the parts of me, I used to think that had to be me. I used to think that I had to get up there and give that big speech and things like that. And I had to be the talent. But allowing me to get to know myself helped me understand that I am not just talent. I am an amazing behind the scenes person. Like, it gives me a really good time to be like all like crazy in particular because clients love that shit. They're like, oh, like in life, it's like, somebody, please just leave it alone. At work though, it's like, oh yeah, somebody's gonna make sure it's perfect. Don't even worry about it. And so it's like,
any worries.
It's I haven't had one complaint. Like it's like, no, somebody's gonna have it. It's fine. And so even being able, it allowed me to see myself in a different perspective and allowed me to let other people be who they're supposed to be. And so even with your story, like just feeling like, okay, I did this, I did that. I do think that women need to hear, you know what I mean, your story. And like we joke and say, oh, it's your ex-wife or whatever. But I do think that you had great intentions on just trying to keep the family safe, not trying to condemn him because you know that he's not living his truth. So I don't think that you blame him for that. No. I've never really heard that you blame him for that. If anything, it's just like, why did we have to do it this way? You didn't have to hurt me to be you. And, I don't want to hurt other people by not being me or whatever. And I'm very conscious, like, you trigger me. So God then gave you to me to make sure that I don't, go back into these things of not really seeing all of myself, because when I'm around you, I get to be a totally different person, and that I never get to be when I'm talent.
Oh, so, I love that for you, Samaya.
I know, it's so great. Isn't
it?
4L. For life. For life. Oh, no, I got PTSD. People be sitting on this couch and come to talk to me and then they be like, where they at? Let me tell you about what these motherfuckers did. Like, we ain't even...
That's for another episode.
It's for a whole nother episode. And you know what? It's so crazy. Some of the people I've dealt with have felt so intimidating that I thought that if people found out what happened or why I don't work with these people, and some of these people telling stories when I haven't even said anything, like telling about what happened, I thought that I would never be able to win. I already didn't feel qualified to be in production. I already felt weird transitioning from sexual essentials, like not just being a sex persona, but saying like, I want dildos and I want cameras, like, and not for me. Like,
you can have it all, though.
I really want to have it all. Like, I want to teach. I can teach you how to suck dick, and I can help make you a TV show. Like, I could do both. Like, why do I gotta pick one?
It's balance, baby.
Michelle Obama said you could be as many things as you want to when you grow up. It's a weird question to ask people. What do you want to be when you grow up? Like, it's just one answer.
Whatever
Look
I want
here.
to do.
I just want y'all to know that there's a real talent if you can reference Michelle Obama and dildos within like a sentence from each other. It's giving gifted. Okay. With that being said, because all the emotional shit is just exhausting me.
Very much so.
Yes, I think we should move on to the sex tip of the day.
I think we should move on to something more happy.
So I do want to talk about, the sex tip of the day, because I do, my first company being Sexual Essentials, everything is, I could feel like I can tell where somebody is just based off asking where they at with their sex life. And
I know somebody be reading them sex life. So are you doing this? No. Okay, so let me tell you about yourself real quick.
I do. And when I first met Tiffany, I was like, you fine. I was like, what's up in the bedroom? Like, I asked her on the first episode. And it was just, I mean, clearly you're like really pretty. So it's just like, I know that your man be with the shits. What you be with? And, you know, and we've, you know, your show, you've gotten into even some of that, like how you want to be, how you pouring into yourself is going to make you a better partner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we did have Mac Stanley on your show. Shout out to Mac, reading you front to back.
Man, did he.
And you learned an exercise called the 6-second kiss. And I kind of want you to talk to that and just kind of talk to, you know, how you feel, because you are gorgeous and you are smart and bitch, you a rich bitch. Like, you know, you can't even tell she got 5 kids. And I know, like, for real, that's not a joke part, y'all, but she really do have 5 boys. But despite all of that, like, where are you sexually? Like, how do you think that you feel? And then, like, talk about the 6-second kiss and, like, what it's been doing for you and just, like, some of the things you've been learning from the show.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely not where I want to be sexually. It was so wild, because, babe, I used to be happy.
The man just don't be mad. Then where did it go?
I don't know where I went. I said, baby, where are you? Come back home. It's weird because I think it was after, well, I know for sure it was after the birth of this last baby.
Got your ass.
Got me. I said, this man done hung me up, put my jersey on the rack, and retired me.
You know what's so crazy? You could feel like, because, you know, your first 3 was one thing, and you have all this sexual energy with the wrong person.
With the wrong person.
And then you get with a new person, a new baby love, like, okay, all these things, and then boom, it'll just drop like powder milk.
And it just dropped, like powder, dried up. That's it. That's how it is. So I am just like, I don't know. So I did go to the doctor, and the doctor said that I did have low testosterone, which I thought was very interesting. But then I didn't, because I used to feel like I had a lot of testosterone, because this is the thing. When I wouldn't get none, I would get real aggressive. Like, I would like nudge my man, like he'd walk by me and I like shoulder nudge him. He'd be like, what's up with you? I'm like, what's up with you? And now I'm just like not like that. So I said, maybe my testosterone is definitely on the ground, because before I was ready to tussle.
Tussle for that dick.
Baby, listen, we gonna either fight or I'm gonna take it. So we gonna have to figure out what's going on here. So now I'm just like an old woman on the shelf. Like, do you still work down there? And I am working on getting her back to where she needs to go. I'm also working on trying to get myself, see if I need some medication.
But first we're going to do the things.
Because I don't like it here.
I know, but first we're going to do the things. You done shot. Girl,
I don't like her, and I don't like it here.
You can't give up so soon.
I'm not giving up, y'all, but I'm definitely questioning myself. So I'm going to work on trying to get her back together so my man can, you know, stop wanting to choke me every day, and not in a good way. So
that might help too.
That might help. Grab me.
Grab me.
Hit me.
Grab me, Big Daddy.
Show me how bad you are then. So I'm going to also try the things that you said, because you said that it needs to be just warmed up some more. She just need to be
it just ain't
brought
pushed
back to life.
It ain't pushed to start.
I don't like that, though. I'm too young for that. It made me feel like I'm going through menopause. I don't like that.
Nah, I see myself in you, and I don't even want to think about this when my coochie decide that she don't want to do what she do.
I don't like it here. But I feel bad, because I be looking at my son like, damn, I think it's you.
And he's so cute.
He's so cute, but I be like,
so cute.
But I do love you, though. So it's like, what do I do, Samaya? I got to get it back together.
You got a assignment that we talking about, which is your 6-second kiss.
My 6-second kiss has been helping some. I do enjoy it.
Really?
Yeah. It makes me feel more like we're having a little moment, like a bonding moment.
Yeah.
So I think it's been helping, but I want that whole like.
She said, I want it to help more.
You know,
I want
to feel like myself again. I want to be like, ooh.
Do you even know if you ever felt like yourself?
That's a good question.
I'm about to say, you really might not even know.
Well, whatever demon that was, I want her back, because she was fun. She can come reattach to me, okay?
I do think that throughout the show, I think that we do need some time. Like, I'm not saying no to medicine, like, at all, for sure. Like, if you need something, you need something. I just think that through doing the show, I think that you're going to start because like money make you come, right? Like that. But I think that the self-healing and that entire journey and the way that like he looks at you when you change and the way that you start looking at yourself when you change and when you are able to like unlearn a lot of the controlling things that your ex did, where it's like sex can be in a multitude of ways. I mean, he having sex in a multitude of ways. So once it's so many more things than just you desiring your partner. Like I know that you desire him. I know that you desire to want to desire him, but I don't think it really has anything to do with him, to be honest. I think that again, here we are. We the problem.
Broken heart.
Broken coochie.
Life's not over.
I think that the more that you get to know yourself, the more that you give yourself permission to play by yourself and things like that, you can keep going back with these little homework assignments. So I'm sure when you went home, it was like, babe, let's try this. He was like, okay, you coming home with something. Like
he was looking at me crazy, like, are you trying to kill me? I was like, no, I just really want to give you a kiss.
Let's just kiss for 6 seconds.
Just
close your eyes.
Stay right here.
I think that it's going to be good. I'm really excited to hear. Like, I'm actually really impatient with it, to be honest, because I think I'm pretty good at fixing these things.
Okay. She said she's the coochie fixer. So.
The coochie, for real. Like people come to me with,
yes, I am. Let me
for real, because that's how I got started. I had baby powder pussy. It was so dry after I had the first child.
Was it?
I feel like life had. First of all, what do you mean the gift of life? I had blew up everything. Nothing shrunk back. That was
I feel you on that, though.
Nothing shrunk back.
I had a lot of hard work to get back down.
Girl, you got 5 kids and look at you now.
No, I be having to work hard. Mine just don't be melting off.
But also my entire body changed. Like, and I was so rude to myself because why would you even say that? Like, that's hella rude. Like, people look differently. But there are people who was looking like I was looking and didn't have no kids. So
but it'd be intense for yourself, though.
Because it's like, this wasn't what I was,
This was not me.
And so I had to check myself and figure out, like, why do you even think? Like, I had to do so much work. And then after that, I just had to rub that coochie. Because more orgasms is going to make you, the more orgasms you have, the easier it is to have another orgasm. And it helps build it back up. It's just like going to the gym. If you go for the first time in 6 months, you're not going to want to go back that second day. But if you go every day for 6 months and then you miss the first time, you're going to miss. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't 6 months in yet.
I did tell him, though, we need to go by the store and just maybe get spicy.
Yeah, I got to use Erotic Badar is a Black-owned company. I love her toys. She has she gives like a lot of information on what the toys do. And she's been on my Patreon like 1,000 times. You can use the code NJASP. Y'all can too.
Yeah. Give me the link because I'm going to check it out.
Yeah. And it takes like 15% off. But like they got all kind of shit. Like they got fucking machines but you know.
I ain't ready for that yet.
Well, you got your tribe with Tiff.
I got to start basics.
With your tribe with Tiff,
I've been trying the breathing that you've been. I haven't tried.
So you've been masturbating?
No, I tried it when I was adulting.
Oh, doing the stuff with
but you remember you was like you need to inhale, exhale while you're doing it.
Because if you hold your breath, it ain't gonna
do it, and
help you get over that hurdle. Yeah, good.
I was like, thanks, Samaya, in my head. Do you think about other people while we have sex? Just about Samaya.
You know how many people
have sex.
So many people have said that, and it really does make me feel good. I appreciate you guys. Look, her people be like, nah, Samaya, you can talk to her anytime. Yeah. Like, a lot of my friends, like, you know, they be like, nah, don't go over your little whole friend house. Yeah. They have no problem when they girl come see me. Because by the time you go home, you're going to be horny.
You're going to be ready to go.
You've been loving on that man. Yeah. Like, some of us are in a drought. Something to draw and y'all be fasting. But I love that for you. I love the fact that even on the show that you're allowing yourself to explore the spicy sides. And then I was a guest on the show. So make sure that y'all check out Tiffany's Patreon because they had me on there.
We had to get a part 2 though because it got a little too juicy. I was just so interested in the conversation that I just never let her transition to what she really came to show us to do. So we got to bring you back for the second part of that.
The full class.
Because she had the setup, y'all, and I was just like so interested in the conversation. I just could not let her get to this setup.
I think your try with tips are going to be very exciting. I think some of them going to be like, try some health shit, try to jump out a plane, try to go to a sex club, try to do this with your man. Like, because there's just no ends. And I think that's healthy to give all the parts of you a place to breathe.
All the options.
Coochie included. All right. So before we let you up out of here, we have to leave them with a spiritual tip of the day. It's going to be twofold because this one technically wasn't really a witchy bitch one, spiritual one. But one, by the time y'all listen to this, just understand that we are in eclipse season. And eclipse season means that you're going to have a lot of endings and you're going to have a lot of beginnings. And I know for me, that was definitely very, very true. But I'm very excited about this beginning. And, you know, however long you stay with us doing the show, I'm very glad that it's there. It's created now. It's already done.
It's done.
Like, you know,
It's
who
in the
shoots
universe.
it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's in the ethos. As Stephanie was say in the ethos. But today's spiritual tip of the day is you have to make space for all the parts of yourself to open all the doors to all the opportunities made for you.
I like that.
Yeah. You know, I'm a little artsy shit this morning.
Not on your witchy. On your
Yeah,
artsy.
I'm a little artsy. I do think that you have to make space for all the parts of yourself, the imperfections and parts of you included. For me, how anal I am has always embarrassed me with myself. Like the way that I like things to look, the aesthetics, the little details, I bought her this cup and I was like, I want you to drink your water. For your infused water that you're supposed to be trying out of this cup. Like I like things a certain way, but just even finding out that those things that I used to like, the way I would talk about myself with those things that annoyed me did not give them room to grow or flourish or have strong roots. And now the way I talk about myself and the way my quirks are, I've found a place for them. And so I just hope that, you know, you guys make space for all of who you are. You doing something weird or doing something odd or something might be a little annoying. It's not a crime. Like if you ain't killing people, you ain't no robber, you know what I'm saying? You ain't no kid toucher. You good. Like if somebody don't like it or care for it, then that's on them. But also you have to find like a pro. We're so quick to find like the cons of like how we are, but it's like however you are is good for something else. And if you're not sure what that thing is, you need to keep looking, you need to keep searching. Because so many of the imperfections that you know, so bravely have shared with us, they are making you a perfect person to teach other people about learning themselves. And not from I'm broke and miserable, I need to learn myself. No, this is a rich bitch. She's fine. She's in a loving relationship and still remembering.
Still struggling.
But having a reason to, you know, to love yourself. And so it's not just something that you do when things are not good. It's something that you do even when things are great. So I really love the fact that your show is for everybody, whether that's men or women, because each of the segments is dedicated to literally all the things you need to get to know yourself, from the therapy with Tiff to the girl talk, because oh my gosh, so many times we leave our friends when we get in these relationships and we don't talk to them till the breakup happen.
She like, come on, baby, come back home.
Yes.
Your man gone, come on.
Your man gone, come on. And so I love the fact that you're in that good relationship and it's like, you know what, where are my friends? I need to do more of this. So you know, you guys, I hope that you check out her show because, bitch, I got a job, okay? Like, I be feeling like such a grown up. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm an executive producer.
I'm working.
Yeah, where's the clapboard? So I'm very excited. It's blood in, blood out now.
I got you, baby.
Yeah, we might have to stop saying that. I didn't say it, and then these motherfuckers don't come back to the couch. Well, she's here.
I'm locked in.
In whatever ways the ethos allows. So please tell the folks where they can find you and check out the new show. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you.
Okay, you guys, so you can find me on all
such a deep breath.
all social sites at Tiffany La'ryn. That's Tiffany La'ryn. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You know, I'm everywhere. The podcast is dropping in November. I don't know when this is dropping.
Probably in November sometime.
Okay, so maybe it's out.
Catch up. Go binge.
Just check it out. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be called Take Two with Tiffany La'ryn. You can find me on all podcast platforms, and you can go ahead and head over to the YouTube because I will be on there also. And I always say Patron, but it's Patreon. You know
you
what I'm
my child up there dropping shit.
It's okay. I love the kids. You can find me there also.
Yes. I am excited about your Patreon because even though the main platform is not about them kids, your man, none of that, the Patreon will have some of those things on there. Yeah. The conversations with your mans and spicy adult conversations. Us getting to know ourselves in a spicy way. Yep. And all the vlogs that we do when you do your Try It with Tiffs will be on there as well. Mm-hmm. Yes. So you guys, this episode is to introduce you guys to my new client. I really do have a job now, for real, for real. I'm not Tommy anymore, okay?
Not Tommy. Oh my God.
I am not Tommy. I appreciate you guys so much for just saving space for us on this episode. Thank you for coming back again.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you, Couture, for beating our faces through the through the crying and all of that. And make sure that you guys please check out the Patreon. That is how you support me. This show costs absolutely nothing for you guys, but this shit expensive. I ain't gonna lie to you. I do have a job now though, so it's gonna help. But you know, you are always more than welcome to support. And there's a lot of bonus content on there. We have an entirely sex-based podcast that only comes out on there. You got to be on there. That shit's funny.
I got it, y'all. It's gonna be crazy.
Bonus episodes every month for Not Just Another Sex Podcast come out on there. It's called Boats and Hoes.
Oh yeah, I got invited to Boats and Hoes.
Brandon invited you.
Brandon invited me to come ride the boat, drive the boat. You know what I'm saying?
All of that. And it's a lot going on. So I appreciate you guys supporting. Please make sure that you leave a review. If you or anybody that you know is trying to get a take two on your life, make sure that you check out Tiffany's show. Y'all get the gist. Y'all know what I'm saying. Go reshare, go repost. That is how we grow. And I appreciate you guys so much. I'm just really grateful right now. I'm not going to cry again because we have to go.
Don't cry again because I don't know if my makeup's going to last 2 hours.
I really want it to stay all day.
Couture is good, but I don't know if it's going to last 2 hours.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and make sure that you go catch up on her last episode if you missed it. That one was more funny. This one was like emotional, but that shit was funny the first time. So.
Yeah, we had a good time.
I love y'all. Till next time. Bye.